10:05. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special meeting of the City Council of the City of Pearsall to be held today, which is Monday, June 22nd, 2020, and the time is 7:05. May I have a roll call, please?
Mary Moore,
Present.
Juliana Hernandez,
He's there.
Richard Gamba,
Here.
Sonia Hernandez,
She's there.
Brenda Trevino,
I don't see Brenda.
Abel Nieto, Roland Segovia,
He's there.
Divino Rodriguez.
Wait, does it even have to wait?
Abel
He's
Nieto,
on here.
can you come over, please?
Yeah.
So Abel is there. So we have two absent, Brenda and Councilwoman Trevino and Councilwoman Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay.
They both said they would be on.
All right, so let us stand for our invocation as well as our pledge of allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. God, we thank you for your hedge of protection in this perilous time for our community. But we know that you are in control. And God, give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of what you would have us to do in order to carry out the works of the community, in the community. God, we thank you for your grace and mercy over our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to
To the flag
of
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, new business. 4A, discuss and consider declaration of public health emergency number 6 in accordance with state law. This is an action item. We need to entertain a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
May I have a second?
Second.
By Councilman Segovia. All in favor? By saying yea?
Yay.
Okay. Motion carries unanimously. Yes, sir.
Good evening, council, mayor. In your packet, you have the declarations that we're proposing that the mayor, authorize the mayor to issue on behalf of the city of Pearsall. As the council knows, the county issued an executive order, I believe last week, and this to some extent mirrors the county's declaration. I do want to point out a couple of things. The declaration itself starts on page 3 of the packet. You can read over the whereas parts. Yeah. The whereas parts, you can read that. I'm going to go ahead and, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. On page 4 of your packet, you can see the effective dates. That's about the center of that page. The effective date on this executive order will be 12:01 a.m. today, and it'll run through June. It begins the 23rd of June, and it runs to. And I'll show you your packet. I believe it's 11:59. That should be Tuesday, July the 14th. Tuesday, July 14th. There's a little significance to that. And I think Crystal's made that change in the revised declaration. The council meets again on the 14th. So we want to extend that past the 14th, that would be the day we extend it. So I just want to make sure the council's clear on that. I won't go over into every one of these little clauses, but I would like to just point out clause number 2 there. That's Roman numeral number 2. And that basically gives some sort of protocol for the businesses. Now, I understand, and just make sure on this as we move forward, because I think I've had some questions on this already. I think I had a council person who called and asked if businesses will, the restaurants have to require people to wear masks. And the answer to that, again, as best I can interpret, and again, we're asking people to use good judgment, is when they enter the restaurant, and this is just an example, okay, I know we're going to get deeper into this. When they're entering into the restaurant, you're asking them to keep the mask on. Once they sit down, take the mask off. And I'm using the restaurants as an example. If they get up to go to the restroom, put the mask on. If they're going to move around in the building, keep the mask on. This includes their wait staff. and then once they exit the restaurant, put the mask on. So in essence, what you're trying to do is when they're sitting down, it's okay. Everything else that they do within the restaurant, they should have a mask on. Again, that's going to be a business decisions and their protocols as to how they set that up. That's just an example of what I wanted to mention to you. For commercial entities, again, I won't go into all of this, but it does gives them some sort of a protocol. On page 5, at the top of page 5, it gives a website providing things and provides some direction for these protocols, and it also speaks to the fine. It's the executive orders within 5 calendar days following may result in a fine not to exceed $500 for each violation. So there is a fine provision that's in this executive order. The face coverings are discussed in Roman numeral 3. And then the other thing I wanted to mention to the council, and again, hopefully the council's had a little time, you're welcome to ask any questions. On Roman numeral 4, all our facility, all of our operations here at the city will remain the same. We're still going to keep, we have certain access points to every building. Most of the buildings have been closed off. The one thing that I will send a memo out first thing tomorrow morning to the staff is to open up the transfer station for brush. We definitely, we know we have a brush issue, but we are going to open that up tomorrow. That will be the only change that we make, proposed making as far as our facilities. Again, our facilities will stay closed until July the 14th. I think initially we discussed opening up July the 6th, but that's been moved at least 8 days and maybe longer. Again, on the enforcement provision, that's Roman numeral 8. And the actual addendum to the declaration is begins on page 7. It's, when you look at number 2 there, it says the city of Pearsall supports the health and safety policy and commercial business provision for the executive order to continue to urge Pearsall businesses to adopt and implement the health and safety protocols as recommended by the Economic Transition Team. The Economic Transition Team is the group that the Governor Abbott put together. Pearsall businesses are strongly encouraged to do the following: use face mask coverings, practice physical distancing, conduct temperature checks, provide hand sanitizer, follow CDC protocols, implement contactless payments when possible, general COVID-19 awareness training for employees. Those are the recommendations. Again, the enforcement provision, and Bobby can speak a little bit more as the legalities of it, will be, again, the face mask. That's on number 3 there. So that is pretty much the extent of the declaration. I don't know if the council has any questions.
Senator, I'm here, but I was as guest. So now I'm going to help.
Okay.
She just came on.
Okay, so the time is 7:13. For the record, Councilwoman Rodriguez attendance.
And what we're going to do tomorrow, tomorrow, if this declaration moves forward, we'll do tomorrow, I'll instruct the police chief to go ahead and pass this out to the businesses, make them aware of this, and again, ask their cooperation. We don't want to give citations, we want people to comply, and that's the goal. So, again, that's kind of where we're going with this. So, the police chief and his staff will be, at least make people aware, the businesses aware. The governor's made it clear we cannot fine individuals, but you can fine businesses. I know that some of y'all are also aware that some of the bars have had their licenses suspended throughout the state. We'll let everybody know and let them know that is still a possibility. That's, of course, a TABC thing, but we're here to document and let people know if somebody's not following the rules.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Reyes, how would it be for the police officers to actually post the declaration on the door of the businesses? So instead of handing it to them, to let them know and then post it, because I'm going to say probably half of these businesses are not gonna force them off.
I think on that end, Councilman Segovia, and the city attorney can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know that we can legally put something on somebody's business. But it's private, because it's private property, but I guess the city attorney can maybe help me out with it, maybe I'm wrong.
To answer that question, good evening, this is Bobby Maldonado, Mayor and Council. Mr. Reyes is correct. If the council doesn't adopt these orders, then the burden is on the businesses to comply. So they would be responsible for taking care of posting any required notices.
Thank you.
Brenda just came on as well.
Ava Nieto.
Brenda just came on.
Okay. For the record, Councilwoman Brenda Trevino, arrival is 7:15.
Council, I know that council may get calls on this now and even after this is implemented, if the council decides to move forward. All we can say on the staff end is we'll be consistent with everybody throughout. We're not, I know sometimes we get, well, you're being favoring so business. That's not our place to do, so we're not gonna do that, but we will take the calls, but understand that we'll be consistent with everybody.
Question, council members?
I got it. I muted it real quick. Did I try it?
Did they say?
No, it was Brenda Trevino's. Should I unmute it now?
So any further questions? No? Comments?
I have none.
Okay. Okay, so if there's no further discussion, I guess we entertain a motion for item 4A. Please. I need a motion for 4A.
There are, I don't have an agenda, so I'm just gonna, run through it as best I can. I don't have an agenda. I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and approve the executive order issued by the governor of the state of Texas and gave the authorization to the mayor of the city of Frisco to sign it.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay? Actually, it's, declaration of a public health emergency number 6, just to
So,
keep the verbiage the same. Okay, there's a motion and a second on the table. All in favor? Okay. Ones that are not visible, I need to hear a yay or nay.
eight.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, item 5, we do not have an item for executive session. So item 7, city council inquiries for staff and/or items for future agendas. Does anyone have any items they might need to place on the next agenda?
Mayor, do we have the, from Mr. Reyes, do we have the issue with, I don't know if the council's been aware of the issue that's going on with, the public? Is that gonna be on the agenda, ASAP for Tuesday?
Yes.
We will have it on this, on a future agenda. We're still working out some things, trying to work some things out. I have to get with the city attorney to see what we work out between here and there, but it will be on a future agenda, yes, sir. Relatively quickly.
I'll give my little opinion, that, if you're gonna open up the transfer station, I think that you should each send an email to Republic, because according to the contract, they gotta have a full-time staff member, Monday through Saturday at the transfer station. Even though they're not complying with it, and these, it's gonna lead us to better things, if we actually end up importing these guys.
Okay, so you want an agenda item addressing that?
No, this is the contract in general.
Oh, the contract.
Yes.
announcements?
Just really quick, Mayor and Council, I know that we've gone through this interview process with this group. We're trying to work on a retreat for the council and the staff. I know that's been postponed, but I think the interviews, most of you have interviewed. I want to just say thank you for taking the time to interview with this gentleman that called. I'm sure that it was entertaining, but nonetheless, our retreat has been postponed, probably at the very least some weeks, if not a month or so. Anyway, we'll keep you posted on a time and a date for our retreat. And our budget process, one other thing, the budget process has kicked off with the staff. Their budgets were turned in on Friday, and we are compiling information, and we will have, we're going to stick to our schedule as far as our budget process. So I think I gave you all budget information about a month or so back as far as the calendar. So we're going to stick to that budget plan and keep working on our budget and have something to you hopefully this coming month.
Okay. So if there is no other announcement, I need to entertain a motion to adjourn, please. I have a second? All in favor? Who's second? Julian, okay. All in favor? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have the revised one, Crystal? You have the revised one?
Yes, sir.
That thing is loud.
It got loud?
Yeah.
Hey, did you follow?